Shall we see if the gadget's going to cooperate this morning? You just never know. Trying to get the motor running. Yesterday was rough. Got started and petered out before I even got anything done. Old man and all that. It's a beautiful day outside though. It was warm yesterday. I think it got up to 83. Hard to believe it's almost October. Oh man, this old body just don't want to do what it used to do. Well, I see somebody popped in. Daydreaming. So gorgeous outside. Little birds are running amok right there with the turkey. Is that you again, stalker? I only see one and no likes. Yeah, I have no doubt. Well, now there's a thumbs up. Maybe I spoke too soon. This gadget, it's so odd. Eric's in the house. Good morning, homie. Good to see you. Trying to stay plugged in. It's been a little tough. Oh, now there's 5. This gadget, it's too much, man. Good to see you too. How's things going down there in Texas, homeboy? Still blistering hot, or is it cooled off? Boy, my stalkers. I take up so much real estate in some people's head. I'm surprised they don't charge me rent. Man, I'm hoping the trolls didn't jam you up, Eric. Notices must have went out for you to pop in right quick. But now everything's froze again. Oh. No, I'm here. Just keep making a lot of typing mistakes. It's all good, homeboy. It's all good. I'll be curious to see how things go out here on YouTube once I move. Once I'm out of this neighborhood, if my stalkers kick rocks or not. I know as long as I'm here, I'm going to get hassled. Mm. How's things going around the house, Eric? Is it quieted down a little bit, or are you still dealing with all that drama? Mm. I hope it improves for you a great deal once you move. Thank you, brother. Yeah, you and me both. Time will tell. I know there's a couple people with a drug problem that are on my jock, something fierce, and tweakers, their brain don't work right. You and I both know what it's like being around tweakers. So much drama. I'll call you later today and tell you about it. Ah, dude, I'm sorry about the drama. Yeah, give me a call anytime, brother. We'll chat it up. I'll make sure I keep the phone with me when I'm working in the yard. I always enjoy a good conversation. Oh, man. I wake up in the morning and I got this crusty shit in my eyes, man. So did Mama Dog. My illness just won't go away. I was taking the doggy's antibiotics for a while. And after Mama Dog died, I took them until they were gone. And they seemed to help a little bit. And I've been out for quite a while. And now the issues picked up. But fuck, what are you going to do? How's the weather and everything by you? Saw it was warm by you yesterday. Yeah, it was real warm, man. Real warm. It's I don't remember it being this warm in September last year. I'm digging it. It gives me a chance to get a lot of stuff done outside. The more yard work and the more I get done outside right now, the easier it'll be for me to sell this place. And having the grass cut short before the snow gets here, it'll make it easy to get after it once spring gets here. Because if you let shit go, it just makes for a lot of work after the snow melts. Hopefully when I move, I won't be dealing with such severe weather. I just don't know where I'm going to end up yet. But I'd like to get into a more tempered climate, that's for sure. Because when it gets below zero and the snow's to your knees, you ain't doing nothing outside. And I've been saving all my indoor work for the snow. I quit messing with the packing and sorting through shit because that's all stuff I can do during the winter. Trying to make sure I can get as much done outside as possible. Sorry, I keep daydreaming looking outside. Slow start. And you're the only friendly one here. The people that stalk me, for lack of a better word, I don't know what else to call it, it's so childish. Their behavior, just like little fucking kids. Or at least you have a good game plan for yourself. Yeah, I got a good game plan. Being a construction worker and organizing a job site, I've always been, what's the word? Not just organized, but you got to think 2 steps ahead, plan ahead, that kind of thing. I've always been real good at that. So if I can get this body to do what I want it to do and get the outside of this place squared away, so once it goes up for sale, I get a good price for it and it'll just make life a whole lot easier for me come springtime. I was hoping to bolt out of here for the winter, but I don't see that happening. I'll be stuck here all winter, I have no doubt. Just too much to do. I got to try to sell some vehicles and generate some revenue. Moving ain't going to be cheap. The only good thing is interest rates keep coming down the way they are. Maybe after the election, we'll see what happens. But I've been keeping an eye on real estate, and there really isn't much for comps up here when it comes to what I got. And with all the craziness and prepping, and I'll get a real estate agent from outside this area, and I'll tell them I want this place marketed down south. A lot of folks down south have money, and they buy vacation homes up here in this little town. And now I see why. It's so beautiful. And the fishing here is incredible, and the hunting and all that. And I think bow season just started. Saw some interesting stuff in the in the yard last night. I went outside, can't talk. Went outside stargazing. I entertained myself with the drones over the house. I saw a flashlight or light in the back behind the ghetto house. And I can't tell if it came from all the way out on the road or not, but somebody was shining a light on the property. It amazes me. It absolutely amazes me how people are so obsessed. It's the only way I know how to put it, obsessed with the fact that I'm here. It's crazy. I think I was outside for a half hour. And in a half hour's time, at least 6, maybe 7 different drones flew over the property. One was pretty big, real big. It kind of circled. It didn't actually come over the property, but these little itty bitty ones, they're like gnats, man. I'd see one going this way, and then one going this way, and then one coming from over here, coming this way. The signal is really good on this live, though, just so you know, no lag yet. Oh, right on, dude. That's good to know. It's always hit and miss. I never know how this thing's going to work inside the house. When I'm between the house and the auto shop, it always works real good. And when I'm inside, I can see the little bars. Like right now, I got 2. But if there's only one, a lot of times the signal is so shitty that it ain't worth trying to go live. It's all glitchy. People don't want to watch. You must have got notification, right? It's kind of strange how still you're the only one here, and that's okay. I appreciate it. Hanging out. Oh, man. I can't wait to be done with this illness, man. It sucks. To know I got that shit inside me, it's such a distraction. Yes. Fuck, I forgot what I was saying to what your yes goes to. I got, and the notification. There you go. Fuck, man. My brain, it don't work so good. I got the notification, but was scrolling through YouTube and saw you were live, so I came on. Right on, dude. Appreciate you. 5 and 2. So there's at least one other friendly out there, and always the haters. Worried I'm going to say something about them. I don't talk about anybody in this neighborhood no more. I don't talk about the doctors no more. I don't talk about the sheriff no more. I don't talk about none of that no more. I want this little YouTube channel to work for me and not against me. You know what I'm saying? Eventually I'll find me the right people, right doggy people to make contact with, and find me the right pair of dogs to rescue and all that kind of stuff. I told myself when it comes to the next 2 dogs I get, they'll find me. Something will, somehow, some way, the dogs will find me, just like the last 2 found me. I'm not going to just run off to a dog rescue and grab the 2 saddest dogs they got. But I have a feeling when the time comes, the right dogs will come across my path and I'll know it right away. But until I get out of here, that just can't happen. They'll stay here for the live, and then I'll call you when I decide to get off of it. You want to talk for a little bit? Yeah, man, for sure. We'll get caught up. I want to hear how things are going for you down there. It's always good to be there for somebody and back and forth, you know? It's good for the spirit. It's what I always wanted with this YouTube channel, you know? Like-minded people, being there for each other. There were a lot of folks that wanted to talk on the phone, and because we'd have conversation on YouTube, and because I was accused of spoofing phone numbers, I was real leery to call anybody, fearing that that number that I was calling wasn't who I wanted it to call. And if I call the wrong person, I'm gonna get a knock on the door from the sheriff. You know what I'm saying? So once I move from here, it'll be a lot easier to get in touch and stay in touch with other good people like you out there on YouTube. I still get, I don't know if you want to call them crank phone calls, but I get messages and bullshit on my phone on a regular. Stuff that don't make any sense. And whether it's a text message or a phone call, I don't respond, because I learned what spoofing a phone number is, right? Somebody can put a phone number and make it look like something, and when you call it, it calls somebody else. So I ain't taking no chances. I mean, the people that brought me trouble have gadget skills, and being accused of spoofing a phone number tells me they know how to do that. So once I'm out of here, I got some plans for my electronics. All that shit will go away for good. I won't have to worry about none of that. But for right now, I'm at risk. That's why I won't call phone numbers unless I know who it is. I won't be baited anymore. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been getting so many spam numbers always telling me I have a huge settlement. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I got text messages saying some shit that a package for me was held at U.S. Customs because of the zip code was wrong or something. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. I got no packages coming from overseas. You bumped your fucking head. The weirdest shit, man. And that's why I'm saying, the folks that have hassled me and lied in a courtroom, they're still hard on it, right? And there's no fucking way I'm touching anything. Fuck that. Yeah, lots of spam, bullshit, weird shit. Catfishing, people pretending one thing and it's really something else. I've learned a lot about the games people play on the gadget. And it's just like a troll. You just don't respond. Just leave them hanging. There's some things I'm going to work on once I leave. Some shit I just can't let go. But I'm not talking about nothing out here anymore. I got this real problem with injustice and letting people get away with committing crimes against me. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens once I leave. I got enough. Anyway, I don't even need to talk about none of that. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been getting so many up. Yep. Man, you got notifications, so I know they went out, but yet I still 5 and 2. It's all good. It's nice and cozy, just you and me, homie. I know 100% what you mean with the injustice. Same here. Yeah, dude, it's hard. I forgive. I just don't forget. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't anger me anymore. The shit people have done to me and still do to me, it doesn't upset me anymore because I see it for what it really is. And when the doggies died, it taught me a lot about my behavior and how triggered I got and how my poor dogs had to see that and go through that with me. And never again. Never again. It allowed me to calm down and really think things through and see them for what they really are. God will take care of what he needs to take care of, I have no doubt. Having faith in God has helped a great deal. But like I said, forgiving and forgetting, that's two different things. And back home, I know quite a few people. A handful of them are pretty powerful people, too. You don't live the life I've lived and worked where I've worked in life and not come across a lot of really influential people. So when I get back home, I'll be calling in a couple favors for sure. And I know a couple people I went to school with that are pretty powerful in the tech world. A lot of people that I know got into work for Google and Facebook and a bunch of those places, man, and they got mad gadget skills. So once I get back home and I touch base with a couple people that I know from back in the day, they'll be able to help me out quite a bit. Maybe they are at church. That could be, Eric. That's a good point. That's a good point. But I also know that if, what are we at? 5 and 2. So there's probably 3 shitheads sitting there eye fucking me. And I know people have been booted off in the comment section before. So as they come in, if they get booted because somebody's sitting there with a glass pipe and nothing better to do, who knows, man? But I know when things aren't normal, right? This is very uncharacteristic of me doing a live. to have one person down in the comment section, you and I both know this is fucking weird. And that tells me there's somebody out there fucking around. But like I said, none of it gets me mad anymore. More curious than anything. Yeah, dude, I knew what you mean. It's strange. Yes, it is very strange, man. Very strange. I mean, this is the first live I've done. I'm into this for almost a half hour, and you're the only one here. Oh, narcissist, right? I had a recent comment from somebody, and I could tell by the way they talk and they word shit, it's a narcissist. The way they play their game, they let your comments stay to make it look like I'm goofy, right? Here, troll, that's for you. I mean, come on, dude. I live in a tiny fucking town. I'm on 30 acres, surrounded by hundreds of acres, by a handful of people, and yet I see 6 or 7 drones go over my property in a 30-minute period. What does that tell you? Fucking unreal. Unreal. I've even had flyovers with little Cessna planes. One flew over the other day, super fucking low, man. And then I had one a while back when things were real hot and heavy out here. Actually do a little donut around the top of the property. In a fucking airplane. There's a little airport over here. And there are certain folks in this neighborhood that got a lot of fucking scratch, right? So, and ex-military. So it's not hard to put 2 and 2 together and realize that the passive aggressive behavior of these people, they'll take it to whatever extreme they have to bust my fucking balls. But they can't. None of it fucking gets me upset anymore. Shine a light on the property, fly a plane over the house, your fucking drones, the this, the that, drive-bys, all this bullshit. It's just childish behavior by people that are extremely immature. Or the ones with the drug problem that hang out with these people, you know what I'm saying? That motherfucker will never get off my nuts. I'm sure of it. His behavior, the way he talked on the phone, the voicemails that voice messages that he left on my phone, that dude's got a real fucking problem. But he's another one of those pussies that's passive aggressive, right? They play with the gadget. They'll never get face to face with me. And that's a good thing. It took me a long time to come to terms with trolls and stalkers and passive aggressive behavior and all that bullshit because it's so disrespectful. But it's like being a little kid in the playground. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me kind of thing, right? You do all the little childish bullshit you want. But until you're a real physical threat, I don't give a fuck what you do. Do you play Dreams? Do you play Brawl Stars? No, I don't play video games. If that's even what you're talking about. What is Brawl Stars? Bleh. Brawl Stars, Dreams. I messaged you before Dreams did. Yeah, probably a troll. Probably my little fucking Nazi catfishing. So what's up, Dreams? Nothing else to say? That's what I thought. Hide user from channel. See you, Dreams. Mm. I knew there'd be at least one troll. Yeah, no doubt. There's there's probably 3 or 4 in you, because there's still only 5 people watching. And the thing is, they think they're going to get under my skin with all this childish bullshit because I talk about how you guys out there are my support group. And that doesn't change because you people, the good people out there that come into the comment section and leave comments on videos and stuff, they're not going nowhere. Just because these trolls play games with my channel, that doesn't change our relationship. And sitting here talking to just one person in the chat, it doesn't bother me. If there's 1 or 100 down there, it doesn't change anything. J.R. Davis, what's good, brother? Saying hello from India. Good to see you, JR. Good morning to you, my man. I guess things are picking up. Those who troll just have nothing better to do. Mix RC. You're right about that, my friend. Most of them have a drug problem. If you think about tweakers, people that have a problem with methamphetamine, and I've known quite a few, it's right up their alley to sit there and get high and come out here on the gadget and fuck with people. Man, the stories I could tell about the ex-wife and when she was tweaking. She would do the weirdest shit. And I see it in the behavior in these trolls. By the way, hi all. There you go. Well, we'll see if things pick up. If the trolls got bored and split, you never know. I'm dragging ass this morning, so I'll hang out here for a little while and see how things progress. I got lots of work to do, but man, I'm just tired. I've been getting good sleep though, which helps. There you go, there you go. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Appreciate you guys. Oh. Man, this crap in my eyes, it just won't quit. I keep looking because it's such a beautiful view out the window. The turkey this morning were so cute. There's such a weird looking bird. But when they're, 10 feet from the window and you can see them real up close and they can't see me because the window's got a little bit of reflective on it, it's pretty cool. and the squirrels and the chipmunks and all the rest of them out there. I haven't seen much for deer now that bow season started, go figure. I asked my neighbor, because in California, when you go hunting for deer, you can only shoot the bucks. You can't shoot the doe. But up here, you can shoot the doe, which is really sad because you kill mama deer and the baby's got no more mama, you know? It's fucked up. Dude, I get such good footage of the turkey and other wildlife by you. Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. I like watching people who are down to earth and not full of shit. There you go, Mick. Yeah, that's me, man. I can't bullshit nobody. Even when I was a little kid, I couldn't lie. I just, there are people that are full of shit that bullshit their way through life, and there are others that don't. I just never been that way. And it makes it easy for me to spot a bullshitter. Growing up in foster homes and different foster parents and so many elementary schools and moving around so much, I've been around a lot of people, man. A lot of people. And how do I want to say this? I'm a people watcher, right? If I go somewhere where there's a lot of people, I watch people. I watch their behavior. It's something I've done since I was a little kid. It's a survival skill, right? You learn quickly how to behave around certain people because your life could depend on it. And as an adult, being around a lot of different groups of people, same thing. Certain things you don't say around certain people, certain things you don't do around certain people, certain neighborhoods you don't go into because you don't belong there. I learned a lot about life because of bouncing around so much and wearing many different hats. Limo driver, construction worker, a biker, delivering Black Mountain water to people's houses. So being a person who studies human behavior has helped me a great deal. I just had to get my anger out of the way with the situation up here where I live. See, the thing is, I had no people skills when it came to a small town. Because the way things go down in a small town is completely different than the big city. I was a fish out of water, and it hurt me. But I'm a quick study. I wish I would have been a little quicker, but I had no idea what I was up against. None. Fuck. I think you're allowed one doe per person. There you go. You have to, Mick, you have to these days. Amen. You've done a bit of them. Yeah. Being a bouncer in a bar back, working in a nightclub. I did that for quite a few years as a second job when I was doing construction. Another great way to observe people when they're intoxicated, the way they behave when they walked in the door and the way they behaved when they walked out of the door, before and after they got drunk. Ooh, man. The stories I could tell. Fuck. That's why I know some of my stalkers got a problem with meth. I see it in their behavior. Behavior that I've seen in other people. And there's a lot of folks up this way that drink. A lot of drunks up this way. Alcoholics, because there's only one grocery store in town, And the biggest department in the grocery store is the alcohol department. So I know there's a lot of alcoholics that live up this way. Been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? I know all about how fucked up you get when you drink too much. And it affects your thought process. Your brain gets pickled. You don't think straight. You don't act right. I had somebody come up my driveway drunk twice with a pistol sitting on the dash of their little side-by-side. I was cordial. He was cordial. I wasn't sure what his motives were, but I didn't take my eye off his fucking pistol the whole time he was here. Trespassed. He came here uninvited. So when it comes to human behavior, I'm well studied. Mick, there you go. I still only see 5 and 2. Yeah, the games people play. You don't get under my skin, troll. Stalker. You still out there, stalker from Compton? Or were you really from Compton? Ah, look, Wolf's in the house. Good morning, Wolf. Good to see you, homeboy. You start that new job yet? I know Wolf hit the button. I seen it bump up to 3. There you go. Little family. I like it. I like it. Maybe we'll see a couple more regulars pop in. Who knows? Maybe my trolls got tired of a tongue lashing. I'm from the UK. Nice, Mick. There's another member of our little YouTube family that's from the UK, Gary. He's out that way. Actually, there's more than a couple of you guys from the UK that follow. Nope, haven't heard nothing yet back from them yet, so I'm hoping they are just busy and getting to me. There you go, Wolf. Yeah. Well, you know how it is when it comes to people doing their job. It don't hurt to drop a dime, make a little reminder. Hey, man, just checking in with you good folks. Just need to know if you're still interested. A little gentle ball busting, showing some initiative, right? It's tough, man. I keep hearing about more and more layoffs, especially they're freaking out about the shipyard strike and all that stuff. And they're trying to stuff the stores with merchandise now before they can't get it to the stores. Yeah, I'm going to give them a call tomorrow. Good for you, dude. Yeah. You know, a lot of people get nervous bugging somebody about hiring them, but it's been my experience. Anybody that shows initiative and, you know, they're anxious for work is a good way to judge their character, that they're serious about the job. And blowing them up every day on the phone, you're just going to irritate them. So giving it a little time, you're on the right track, man. The thing is, you know as well as I do, people get fired every day, called in sick one too many times, showed up late one too many times. They need somebody to fill that position. Boom, your phone rings. And that kind of could be what they're waiting for, right? They got you hanging on a rope for a minute, and it's timing. Oh, man, the shit in my eyes is driving me nuts. Ugh. It's kind of nice having these slow lives, man. It's cozy. Now I see 4 and 5. Nice. Ooh, belly's growling. Gonna have to get at some breakfast. I used to love my job. There you go. I used to hate my job. being a union sheet metal worker, working in that environment was real dirty and real physical. But there were aspects of that job that I enjoyed quite a bit. But for the most part, chasing a paycheck is a motherfucker. But putting in a good day's work for a good day's pay, that in itself is rewarding. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a social worker because coming up in foster homes, a lot of social workers shouldn't be social workers. And because I was on the other side of that fence, I knew I could do good work as a social worker. But my reading prevented me from going to college, so that wasn't about to happen. Oh yeah, man. Retail is a daily turnaround with employees. Amen, brother. I worked at Home Depot for 2 years and saw 60 different team members. No shit. It took literally counts. I was the 61st person to quit in 2 years. Yeah. Retail's a tough business, man. It's dog eat dog. You know how it goes. They always want you to do more and, like little slave owners, man. But when you're in it for a paycheck, you got to put it in one ear and out the other because you deal with so many different personalities. Same thing on a job site. I've had to work for foremen that shouldn't have been foremen, and it's tough taking orders from somebody who's a lesser person than you are, if you know what I'm saying. A lot of people get in the position they are because they kiss ass, not because they got the job skills. And that's the way of the world, man. Politics isn't just in the White House. Fuck. Favoritism. I seen a lot of favoritism on a job site because somebody was buddies and went to high school with the foreman. He would get the gravy work where I would have to do the shit work. It was amazing to me. And then once I became a foreman, it was a whole nother thing. The only drag was I didn't get to pick and choose my crew. Sometimes I'd get haul hires, people right out of the haul, and they were dump trucks, man. They didn't want to produce, didn't want to work hard. You try to encourage them gently, and then that didn't work. Then you'd have to bust their balls, and then they would whine, "Why are you yelling at me?" kind of thing. Because my foreman's yelling at me, so I'm yelling at you. Get some work done. But when you had a good hire, a good set of hands on a job, you appreciate it. I had a handful of guys that worked under me, and I'd let them slide early on a Friday every once in a while to show them some love because they busted their ass for me. One hand washes another. Yeah, it's funny because at Home Depot, I was in a dead end marriage, addicted to alcohol and weed, got a divorce, then got another girl pregnant, oh shit, and got a job at Lowe's, but still was trying to grow up. Well, yeah, there you go, dude. You said it yourself. You were still trying to grow up. So I crashed out there. Now I just want to work and take care of my family. Good for you. And you will. Life is a learning process. And being sober is the first step in the right direction. And being hungry is the next step. And when you get this next job, you'll shine because you know from your prior mistakes, and the shitheads will look bad. You'll get that temp job. It'll turn into a permanent position. And before you know it, you'll be pointing a finger. You know what I'm saying? Because you got what it takes up here. Your motives and your relationship with God will keep you on track. You won't have to worry about a job because there's so many shitheads out there. The company's all about making money at the end of the day. I had foremen that I worked for that were lousy, and then eventually they got laid off. And then eventually I became a foreman because I kicked ass. I worked hard. I didn't start drinking until after I retired, and I was going through a lousy workman's comp case and living in a mobile home park and all that bullshit. And then I got on the bottle. But when I was a working man, I wasn't a drinker. That's why I was a bouncer and a limo driver. I always had 2 jobs. I was always chasing that paycheck. Very responsible as a young man. It's what happens when you got to raise your own mom, right? Mom telling me I'm the man of the house at 11, you mature very quickly. And watching mom, the way she drank, turning into an alcoholic always scared me. So for me, it was just a weekend warrior thing. I might have showed up at work on Monday a little hungover because I watched the Super Bowl or something, and got drunk on a Sunday, but that was far and few between. Thing about a job, you're always in competition. If you're retail or construction, because you're working side by side with somebody else. And if you don't produce the way they do, when the layoffs come, you're the first to go. And I saw that early on. Still quiet. 6 and 5. There's always one shithead out there. I just saw something. There's a couple of real estate channels that I follow. And this one cat was talking about how unemployment insurance is running out for a lot of folks. I think you get it for 6 months. And when it runs out, there is no more extension like they had during COVID. And a lot of those folks whose unemployment is running out and the job they had isn't there no more, the homeless population is going to explode, man. And I keep saying it. These hedge funds that are gobbling up these high rises everywhere, all these office buildings that are empty because of COVID, everybody working from home, and now there's all these tech layoffs because of AI. There's a lot of high rises that are sitting there empty. They're going to convert those to low income housing. You mark my words. And the government's going to subsidize the rent, right? Just like housing authority, right? Section 8, low income housing. You're on unemployment or you ain't got no money and you're getting, government cheese and all that stuff. They can't have them people all over the street. So they're going to stuff them in those high rises. And those hedge funds are going to be guaranteed rent money because the government's going to pay for it. You watch in about, no, I don't even want to say that. I was going to say in about 5 years after this next election cycle, this country's going to see a Great Depression. But I hear people talking about we're in a soft Great Depression right now. In my entire life, I've never seen so many homeless people. 62 years old now, and it amazes me how many people are on the street. It absolutely blows my mind. For a country that is so, or was so wealthy and had so many jobs and industry, once we sourced all that work out to China, think about this. The money we sent to Ukraine to fund their war, if we would have spent that money bringing back our steel industry, just the steel industry, the middle of this country is dead. Coal and steel and oil, manufacturing. We used to make clothing. We don't make anything anymore. We need industry. And if the government would spend money on industry instead of wars, it would give all those homeless people good paying jobs. I bought a coffee pot recently. It was $50 for a little cheap, shitty coffee pot. The plastic that it's made out of is so thin. The glass that the pot is made out of is so thin. Heaven forbid you bang it into something that's going to shatter. Now you got to go blow another $50 for a coffee pot that comes out of China. And China manufactures their shit out of junk because they know it's going to break and you're going to have to buy it again. When the United States made clothes and coffee pots and all that stuff, it was quality. We cared about quality and longevity. People's reputation was important. Not anymore, man. This hoodie is probably 25 years old. The tag, made in America. The zigzag man. I don't even know if zigzags are even out there anymore. Oh, the world has changed so much. All the toys used to be made here, Mattel, right? We don't make anything anymore. Even some of these old companies like Harley Davidson and John Deere and a lot of them source out a lot of their shit now. All that made in the USA, not so much anymore. And it hurts us. It hurts good people trying to find good jobs. That's why they're homeless. People on unemployment, you think they just want to sit there and wait for it to run out? They want a job. They want a good paying job because shit's so expensive. But where are you going to get a good paying job? There's no more industry. And a lot of the techies, all the gadget people that the world was turning to, Google and Facebook and all these companies for high paying jobs, well, guess what? AI just kicked them in the ass. Those jobs are going to be gone in the next couple years, if that long. That's because the humans got addicted to material possessions. Amen, dude. I hang on to shit. Like I said, this hoodie's probably 25 years old. 2, 3 outfits of clothing, 1 pair of shoes. There you go. There you go. Wolf, that they never wear just to show off. Yep, you're right, Wolf. We sold of everything we owned. There you go, Mark. I think I know what you mean. Yeah, it's crazy. I bet you any money on this tag, Fruit of the Loom, right? I don't know if you guys can see, but I bet you any money this tag says made in the USA somewhere. Because I know how old this is. And Converse tennis shoes, right? I mean, we made so much stuff back in the day. We don't even own our water. Yeah, oh, man. Yeah, it's crazy to me. When I was a little kid, people would talk shit if you had something that said made in Japan. I remember, right? Made in the USA was a big thing. Even when I was on a job site, there was a rack of Carhartt shit that was made in the USA and a rack that wasn't. Back then, a lot of it came out of Taiwan or Mexico. Now it all comes out of China. And I always bought from the USA rack, right? When you're on a job site, made in the USA, it just, it was kind of that way. Especially when I was an apprentice. There was a lot of OGs that, were born in the 30s, lived through the Great Depression. Their parents did, you know what I'm saying? And so the value of a good job and having something made in the States, I got Levi's and Ben Davis that are way old, and old Carhartt stuff that's way old, and it's still here because it still works. I bought some cargo shorts when I lived in the mobile home park. They had a deal, so I bought 3 pair. 2 of the 3 pairs split right down the center of the thigh in the weirdest place. The crotch didn't blow out, but it shouldn't have ripped there. And they came out of China. And I was just like, man, the quality of the material, right, was for shit, paper thin. Everything is made so cheaply that it just don't last. And when I was in the mobile home park and I had extra money, I was buying tools and stacking silver. And every once in a while, I'd see a good deal on some old clothes, new old stock. And I'd buy some Ben Davis pants that were still made in America, or a hoodie still had made in America tag on it, because I knew it would last. And the new shit just don't. And you could buy the old stuff off of eBay for half of what the new stuff cost, and the old stuff will last 10 times as long as the new shit. I should have went on eBay and bought an old coffee pot. Shit. Because this one I just bought, it won't last. We sold quality for convenience. Yeah. Well, the problem is the people that run manufacturing source shit out because it's cheaper. Because China has cheap labor, so they can manufacture something for much cheaper. Trump's got the right idea when he's talking about 100% import tariffs, because that'll push industry back into this country, because then it'll be cheaper to make it here than it is to buy it from China. He's got the right idea, but it's going to take a long time. And as long as the government's going to sit here funding war instead of putting money towards manufacturing, we're in deep shit, man. So you don't support kids having jobs? Kids shouldn't have to go to work until they're 18 years old, till you graduate high school. For me, I had a newspaper route when I was 12 because I wanted to buy my own bicycle. We were on welfare. We didn't have no money. Mom couldn't buy me a bicycle. She said, go get a newspaper route and save your money. So I did. And then when I was 15, I lied. I had some friends that worked at the car wash. Said you could get me a job, just lie on your application, and I did. And at 15, I got my first real job, earning a paycheck. Saved my money and bought my first car. So when I was 16 years old, I had dropped out of high school. Mom said, if you're not going to go to high school, you have to pay rent. So I paid mom rent, had my own car, and I went to Keys driving school because I couldn't take the driving course in high school because I dropped out. So I paid to get my license. I paid for my first car because we were poor. But if you got a mom and a dad and you're going to school, you shouldn't have to get a job. Stuff was built to last in our days. Yes, sir, Mick, absolutely. I started working at 15. There you go, me too. Yeah, my first job was 16 selling Christmas trees at the local. There you go, Wolf. Andrew, look at your face. Of course, you dropped out of high school. Really, Andrew? I'm 62 years old. I got a pension from the sheet metal union. I got Social Security from the government because I paid taxes for 37 years. And what the fuck does that got to do with what my face looks like? You're just another childish troll who was abused as a child, so you got to come out here and bust my balls. You need to grow the fuck up, Andrew. Truth hurts, man. Sorry. Truth hurts. You really, you think your truth hurts me? Yeah, it's all right, Mick. He's just a clown. No, he would never say it to my face. He's just a troll. Andrew. How many times you get beat up in school, Andrew? I bet quite a bit. You're a cowardly little person. You come out here and talk shit to a guy like me because you are a coward. I would, 100% would. Andrew, you're a liar. You can't even put your face on your thumbnail. You're so cowardly. Typing something in the comment section does not prove you're brave. It proves you're a coward. I don't know what else to tell you, Andrew. You've been beat up so many times in life that your only recourse is to come talk shit in a comment section to a guy that looks like me, because I would put such a beating on you, you wouldn't know which way is up. So Having said all that, it's time for you to go, Andrew. Hide user from channel. It amazes me, the childish behavior of grown-ass people. But then again, that guy could be 16 years old for all I know. The truth hurts while sitting on a 300K property. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Exactly. But I must say, boy, when I first got out here and comments like that would get me so fired up, and that's what they live for, is to get under your skin. And now I laugh at them. They are their own worst enemy, right? When they're not in the comment section and they're in the mirror brushing their teeth, they have to look at themselves in the face, and they know what's wrong with them. They're not oblivious to what a pussy they are. But when they get down there talking tough, it makes them feel good, right? But eventually you have to live in the real world. You know, they're the kind of people that when they walk around the planet, they stare at their feet. They don't know how to make eye contact. An adult wouldn't talk like that. Yeah, there you go, Mick. Exactly. When I was little, you quickly learned what respect and manners are, right? You don't speak unless you're spoken to. May I get excused from the table? You were very respectful to adults, very respectful to law enforcement, anybody in charge, very respectful to your elders, your teachers at school, all that kind of stuff. Not anymore. The gadget allows children to behave like children who are 30 years old, right? They never grow up because they grew up with a damn gadget in their hand and fall prey to their immaturity, and they never grow up, and nobody ever taught them any manners. I came from a very different time, and I can see things for what they really are and why people behave the way they do, because there's no consequences for their actions. You know, if you were rude at the dinner table, you spoke out, or you reached across somebody's plate to grab the salt shaker and didn't say excuse me or something, you were quick to get corrected, right? And you knew better. It didn't take too many times of getting your balls busted as a kid to know what was right and what was wrong. Now these kids, they just do whatever the fuck they want to do, right? Just look at all the sideshow behavior. Everybody's out there with the cell phone watching people spin donuts and slam into somebody, right? Park cars on a bridge, block all the traffic and spin donuts and make videos and put it on YouTube. Not in my day. Not in my day. But that's the world we live in. And it'll never go back to the old way. You're right, Mick. They would never say it to my face. They wouldn't have the courage. In the world of my mentor, if you like me, I like you. If you don't like me, I don't like you. If you swing at me, I'll swing back. Amen. If you cut me off, I'll cut you off. I'll cut you. Do no harm, but take no shit. Exactly. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself, Wolf. There was always consequences for your actions. I mean, there's always been a bully around, the tough kid at school that his dad beat the shit out of him, so he'd come to school and pick on somebody kind of thing, and he was usually the toughest kid in school because he wasn't afraid to get in a fight. But eventually a bully would get what's coming to him. There's always somebody tougher. But the shit that goes on today, there's no consequences for their actions. You know, when City Hall and the cops quit prosecuting theft under $1,000, look what happened to all the small businesses. How much shit would get stolen from the pharmacy or little retail stores. Now they're all closed. Or if you go into one of these stores, they got plastic across all the stuff with little locks on it so you can't even grab it. It amazes me that we've come this far backwards. Nobody's got any respect for other people's property, right? Like you said, Wolf, you steal my shit, you're going to get an ass whooping. I catch you trying to steal something from me, you're going to pay the consequences. Not anymore. People walk into stores, arms full of shit, and just walk right out. Cops won't even show up. It blows my mind. 64 Flyers in the house. Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well in your world. Same to you, homeboy. Mick, I never learned when I was a kid, but I soon did when I left school. There you go. I always picked up in school most weeks. LOL. There you go. There you go. Wolf. Oh yeah, man. When I was in elementary school, it was the popular kid. But in junior high school, I became a STA starter. And when the bullies messed with me, my friends, they ignored me because they knew who I was. There you go. Reputation goes a long way. And it was with the business. And I was with the business. There you go. I know what you mean. Consequences, right? When I was in elementary school, I was a big kid. I went through puberty at like 9, 10 years old, right? So I grew tall real fast. And me and only a couple of kids in elementary school were, I was 5. At 12, I was 5'5" and 155 pounds. I remember that because they wouldn't let me play Pop Warner. By the time I got into junior high school, I was this tall, 5'10", and I was a big kid, so I didn't get picked on. And because I was a softie, most of my friends were the shortest kids in school, and nobody would mess with them because they were my friends. And they knew I wouldn't put up with somebody getting bullied. There was always an easy victim. But if you were a friend of mine, you were safe. And like you were saying, a reputation used to mean something. But nowadays, reputation don't mean nothing. Kids are just, they're out of control. Hellbent Whiskey's in the house. What's happening, homie? Good to see you. Good to see you. When I started working in the tattoo shop, all the jocks bought their girls in to get piercings from me and acted like they were friends since we were babies. Yeah, dude. Shit comes full circle in life. Bill W's in the house. And hope you're having a good day today. Just saw you. I wanted to come in and say hello. And the biggest, thank you, Bill. Biggest prayers right back at you, Mick. When I left school, I was 4'6" and about 6 stones. Yeah. Mother Nature and life, it's just funny how things work sometimes. I got lucky that I was a big kid in school that kept the bullies at bay. But when you're a little guy and you got to fight your way through school, it's not always easy. Mike Burton, what's up, man? Good to see you. Sorry, fat finger. No worry, Bill. I got you, man. I got you. No worry. No worry. Well, it's good to see some regulars popping in. Eventually, the trolls kick rocks. They don't like the verbal abuse. They don't like me pointing out the truth. and they usually get to kicking rocks. I'm still a little guy, 5'5", 140 pounds, but was allowed me to avoid most conflict because they didn't want Wolf out the cage. There you go, dude. I'll tell you what, some of the most toughest kids I knew in school were some of the smallest kids, because you gotta fight your way through when you're small in stature, right? And size don't mean shit when it comes to taking care of your business. I learned that early on. I knew some little guys that were scrappers, and you just knew that if you fucked with them, you were going to get a baseball bat upside the head, because there was always an equalizer. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the crazy. How's it go? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And that is very, very true. Glad some of the regulars finally showed up. There you go. Oh, look, Putty Cat's in here. The end of spankings and increased medication seems to have led to more problems. Amen. You're absolutely right. When you're little, getting a spanking, getting paddled on the ass, it didn't physically hurt you, right? You were screaming before mom even took out the ruler, kind of thing, right? But that was consequences. And now they want to put you on Ritalin or shove a pill down your throat. And you couldn't be more right, Putty Cat. Yeah, I saw The Outsiders in school and was known to carry a switchblade. There you go, an equalizer. That's what I'm saying. You know, if you're small in stature and you're getting picked on by somebody who physically, you got no defense. You know, I've said it many times. I carried a knife all through school. And that was because of what I heard in the foster homes about my foster brother getting touched, and got in a beef at a putt-putt golf course with some older kids. And this one kid was bigger than me and older than me, and we squared off, and he had a stick in his hand, and so I pulled my knife, and he backed off and called the cops. Deacon Forrest, not the size of, there you go, there you go. Amen, absolutely, thank you. Oh, Cindy, good to see you, young lady. Thank you, hugs and prayers right back at you. Much love, always. So good to see you. Mick, I used to catch people with hammers and stuff. There you go. Putty Cat, yeah, the worst words from my mom were, wait until your dad gets home. Amen. Amen. Yep. Then you knew you were in trouble. Absolutely. Gonna take my son outside for a bit and play before his nap. Love you, Johnny. Oh, love you too, Wolf. Love to the Misfits. There you go, Wolf. Go play with your boy. Good job, Dad. Mick, LOL. Hi, Cindy. There's Eric telling Cindy hi. Ah, see? It's kind of funny how early on the trolls were hot and heavy and there were no regulars. Now everybody's popping in. I love it. I need to learn to stick around a little longer and let everybody get a chance to pop in. Nice. And thank you, by the way. Thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. I see 13 and 10. Oh, good conversation with some friends. Always lifts my spirits. It's tough being here alone, especially since the dogs are gone. Get caught up in my head. Sometimes it's paralyzing, you know? But you guys help. You really do. All your nice comments and our conversation back and forth and memory lane, and in a good way for a change, right? Talking about the quality of clothes or getting a spanking from dad when he gets home. It gives me faith in humanity that there's still some good folks out there that understand life the way I do. There you go. I love it. I love it. You guys chit-chatting back and forth. 13 and 13. There's my number. Oh, what time is it? 11:30. I got time to get shit done. I only got energy for a few hours anyway, and it don't get dark till 6 or 6:30, so I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm in no hurry to get off this gadget, especially now that there's some good folks down there hanging out. Oh, that's funny. I just seen it go from 13 to 12. Whiskey. Have to wait 24 hours for my first live. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm always restricted. Bad boy, Whiskey. Putty cat. Pencils. And teachers used to be able to paddle kids. Yep. Now they would be put in jail. Yeah. Well, the thing is, kids and parents, if a kid came home and said, Mommy, the teacher spanked me, mom and dad would say, well, what did you do to deserve it? Right? Now, if your kid's coming home with bruises, that's a whole nother story. But to get a spanking, it hurts your pride, not your body, right? It's embarrassing to get spanked at school because you did something wrong. It's not physical abuse. The world we live in is full of snowflakes, right? They melt with a little bit of pressure. Pressure is good. It teaches you, right? Adversity, it teaches you. Manners. Those things are important, but they're all gone now, right? The people that run this country have ran it into the ground, whether it's industry or human behavior. And I'm not even going to get into the conversation about gender and pronouns because YouTube freaks out about all that stuff. But you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just not right. You go to school to learn, right? To get educated in more ways than one. Not so much. Kids get manipulated. They don't get educated. And it's sad. It really is. It's sad. There you go. I think they should bring the cane back. There you go. Yeah, a good caning. I remember hearing that when I was a kid. People are too often these days. Too offended these days. Absolutely. Right? Having a thick skin, like I said before, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I was taught that at a young age because I was too sensitive. People would talk shit, I'd get real upset. And mom would say, hey, it's just words. Somebody puts hands on you, you do what you got to do. But if somebody's teasing you, who cares? They're just another troll. I agree, Johnny. Kids have to learn that they are consequences for their actions. Amen, Putty Cat. If you make a mistake, you take your medicine. Amen, and learn and grow. Absolutely. And a teacher often not to do what you did to get in trouble. Amen. My grandparents used to get the switch from the tree. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Whiskey. I love it when your mother sends you into the woods to get the switch. Yep. And then sends you back when you got one too small. You got the right. There you go. Cassie, you're clearly matured since then. Proof being with Andrew today. There you go. I think I know what you're getting at. Durkin, looks like you can put people in their place, JohnnyO, with no problem. Yeah. Trying to teach a troll consequences for their actions. I don't like to engage them, but calling them out and fronting them on their behavior, I really do hope that maybe they'll learn a little something and realize There's a better way. You have a better quality of life if you behave better. Being a little shithead and talking shit to a stranger on the gadget perpetuates bad behavior. And eventually they'll do it in the real world, and somebody's going to clean their clock. Consequences, right? Whatever they are. It's a lost art. So many people get away with so much garbage that they feel entitled to behave like an asshole. But, you know, you didn't act out when I was a kid, right? Wait till your dad gets home. Absolutely. That kind of thing. Durkin, facts. There you go, Cindy. I'm going okay. Been a while since I've made a live. Oh, Cindy. Pretty cat. Manners are gone. People don't even hold open the door. That's why I'm always talking about that. It takes nothing to help an old lady load her groceries into the car, but no one does it. Ah, amen. That's why when I get off the gadget, I'm always talking about doing a kind act for a stranger, because that's the way it was when I was a kid. And people forget. You get caught up in your own bullshit. Not that you're a bad person or whatever, but you get tunnel vision because of all the shitty people. But you can't let those shitty people stop you from being a good person, going the extra mile, driving down the road and there's an old man changing his tire and you're young and healthy. You pull over and say, hey man, let me help you out a little bit. Holding the door at the grocery store, helping somebody put their bags in the car, helping the little old lady across the street. That was all shit that was taught to me as a kid. Nobody even talks like that anymore. The word manners. When do you hear anybody talking about manners? When I was a kid, I remember when TV dinners came out and the tinfoil trays and all that shit. Not in my house. You sat down at the dinner table. Food was cooked. You ate and sat at the dinner table. You didn't sit in front of the TV set and eat out of a TV dinner. Grandpa was very old-fashioned. So was Mom. You sat down at the dinner table and talked about your day. How was your day? How was your day, kids? How was your day, Dad? And you conversated. It doesn't happen anymore. It makes me sad. Because I saw that. And I saw the results of that kind of upraising. And now the world is ass backwards, man. Here's $5. Go to McDonald's and grab a hamburger. I'm busy. I gotta work too much, right? Mom and Dad, when I was a kid, Mom didn't go to work. Dad did. You could survive off of one income. Mom would help raise the kids, right? Not anymore. Mom and Dad both have to work to make ends meet, so the kids don't have anybody there to learn them manners. It's terrible, man. And I'm not saying a woman's place is in the home. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Mr. Mom. Let Mom go to work and I'll stay home and raise the kids. So it's not a gender thing. One parent should be home with the kids, but you can't survive that way. Manners are gone. People don't even hold the door open for others. Yep. It takes nothing to help the little old lady. Yep. Oh, I already got that one. Pretty cat. And then you asked to be excused. Yes, I was just saying that. And took your dishes to the kitchen. Amen. As a matter of fact, when I was little, not only did you take your dishes to the kitchen, but you washed them yourself and hung them in the rack. Mom wasn't your slave. She cooked, made dinner, set the table and that kind of thing. And then when you were done, you took your dishes into the sink and you washed your own dishes. There was no dishwasher in my house. And at a very early age, I started doing my own laundry too. Oh man, I miss the old days. and for good reason. The world we live in is a shit show. It really is. And it's sad to me that things have gotten so bad and people treat each other so shitty. I ain't even gonna get into what happened to me here in this town, but that was because I was an outsider. But people feel entitled to fuck with other people. And you didn't do that when I was a kid. There was always a bully somewhere, but for the most part, people had respect and manners. Even the cops had respect and manners. You know, they didn't come up on you and act like an asshole. They had protect and serve. That was their job. And as a kid, there were a couple of instances where the cops let me slide because I was polite and respectful to them. We were drinking. We were parked up at the Whistling Towers in South City. I know you guys won't know what that is, but you know, young kid, 16 years old, got a 12-pack of beer in the trunk of the car, and you parked somewhere way out of the way so you could go get drunk. And the cops caught us. And I talked to the cops, and I was apologetic, said sorry, and blah, de blah, and whose car is this? It's mine. And I said, he goes, well, it's not your parents' car. I said, no, I bought it with my own money and this and that. And he said, well, you sound like a pretty responsible kid. Pour out your beers and go home. So we poured out our beers and we went home. Now you'd be taken to jail for drunk driving, even if you weren't driving. I can only imagine, right? Cops had discretion in their behavior, but they were treated with respect because they had that badge and that gun. You knew you had to behave a certain way to the police. Not anymore. It's so ass backwards, man. Putty cat. I learned to cut the grass. There you go. There you go. Shovel the driveway. Amen. Amen. Sherman, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Putty cat. I came home drunk once in high school. Dad found out and woke me up at 5 a.m. to clean the garage. Ah. There you go. Consequences for your actions, young lady. I like it. I like it. The police used to give us a smack on the back of the head. LOL. There you go. And they only did it because you deserved it most of the time. Every once in a while there was a shit cop, but for the most part, cops back in the day, they were good people, right? The people that became police officers weren't narcissists. A lot of cops nowadays are on a power trip. It's not to protect and serve. It's their ego that drives them to get that job. Or they're ex-military, so they got training. So they just roll that training into a cop job, but they got no business being a cop. Police used to give us a smack. Got that? Dad told me, you want to party, you can get up and work too. There you go. Amen. There you go. There you go. I mean, I had some stuff when I was a kid. Mom wasn't on her game. You know, when I was in junior high school, we'd get her pot and she'd buy our booze for us. So I didn't exactly have the greatest role model when it came to mom, but grandpa taught me, right? And so did mom. She wasn't always off her game. She knew about respect and manners, but she was a train wreck. And then quickly I had to become dad. But life experience teaches you. And unfortunately, these kids in today's day and age, there's no one to teach them. They're left to teach themselves. And that's where the manners and the respect go out the window, because if there's no one there to teach you at a young age, it just gets worse as you get older. Say it again. I had an argument with one yesterday. Oh, the cops. Yep. A copper. Yeah. No doubt. Well, like I said, man, cops are overworked and underpaid. They're under a lot of pressure. What they deal with, the disrespect on a daily, cameras in their face. It wasn't like that when I was a kid. Being a police officer or a fireman, those were jobs to be respected because those people were there to help you, not hurt you. But when the general public doesn't respect those powers of authority, they get sour and then they act out. They're only human. And that's what I'm saying. When you lose respect and manners in your society, it goes all the way up the food chain. Because now the cops get disrespected on a regular, so they disrespect the general public. Two wrongs don't make a right. And that's what we got now. And the people that the police department have to choose from who want to be cops, like I said, a lot of cops are ex-military with PTSD. I seen one in my yard. I dealt with it right here on this property. I seen it firsthand. Dude had no business being a cop. He got so angry because I was lippy. I don't even want to get into any of that, but it's the world we live in now. It's not the world I grew up in. I knew of one dirty cop when I was a kid, Dixon, out of Redwood City. He was shady. He was the kind of cop that drove around in a lowrider. He was the kind of cop that wouldn't tell you to pour out your beer. He would take them, right? But that was the exception to the rule, by far. By far. Man, memory lane. I got all this stuff racing around in my head from back in the day. It was such a different world. Such a different world. No homeless people. You would see a bum on the street every once in a while, but there weren't tents and motorhomes parked all over the place. Cardboard boxes everywhere. You didn't see any of that when I was a kid. None of that. Now there's homeless encampments everywhere. Everywhere. In the big city. Up here where I live, there ain't no homeless people. You'll freeze to death. You turn into a popsicle. Besides, I don't think they would even, you wouldn't get away with it up here. The good old days. There you go, Mick. Absolutely. Absolutely. Putty cat. The cops where I grew up took your beer. Pretty sure they took it home and drank it. Oh. Yeah, it was a different time. It was a simpler time. The cell phone was the beginning of the end. Having the accessibility to the internet in the palm of your hand as a young child, you're exposed to way too much. If I was raising kids today, you wouldn't have a smartphone. You'd have an old flip phone so I could know where you are and what you're doing, but you wouldn't have access to the internet until you were at least old enough to drive a car. Responsibility, right? The stuff kids see on their phone at an early age, they should never see. Whether it's pornography or violence or whatever. It's like mom and dad telling you can't eat candy because you're going to get cavities, right? The internet rots the brains of a lot of kids, man. They get holes in their brain. I don't know how else to put it. It just ain't right. There's a lot of good that could be done, but the bad far outweighs the good, at least in our country. I can't speak on everywhere else, but boy, I could be preachy. But just like you guys, you lived through it. You've seen it, right? You knew what it was like when you were little. If you're old enough, it was a completely different world. Completely different world. I bought a homeless person a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and a big batch yesterday just to calm him down after that decision with the copper. Ah, good for you, Mick. I love to hear that, man. Good for you. Yeah, I actually had to go to the library and struggle to look up stuff to help me with my homework. I remember going to the library. That was part of your classwork, man. But then I found it was rewarding. Yeah. When you solved a problem as a kid, it gave you confidence, right? You learned something. You gained knowledge. You gained wisdom. Because I couldn't read worth beans, being dyslexic, schoolwork frustrated me something fierce, but I was good with my hands. So I started working on my bicycle. And then other kids in the neighborhood were like, hey, can you help me fix my flat tire? Oh, yeah. And then I'd fix their flat tire on their bike, take the wheel off, patch the inner tube, put it back together. And they were always so appreciative. And it made me feel, gave me a sense of pride because I was able to do something they couldn't do. And then when I needed help with schoolwork or cheat on a test at school, they would help me because I helped fix their bicycle. So I knew at an early age my skills were in my hands, not in my reading. And that skill set helped me. But now the world doesn't work that way. There is no confidence. That's why trolls do what they do. They don't have any confidence in being their own man. So they get on the gadget and do things that are mentally deficient, right? Normal people don't sit on the internet trolling people. That's not normal behavior. Uh-oh, close. My battery's gonna croak. I've been running my mouth so long. All kids of ways learn just like the learning Johnny is talking about. There you go. Are you my twin, Mick? LOL. Right on, right on. Well, hey guys, my phone is about to croak. I've been on here for 102 minutes. Henry, how you doing today, brother? I'm doing okay. Yesterday was a little rough. A lot on the brain and the body wasn't working. I didn't get anything done yesterday, but I feel pretty good today. So I think as soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna go get at some stuff. But my phone is in the red zone with the battery. So I'm gonna have to get off of here. We'll all have talents. You just have to figure it out. Figure out your talent. There you go. There you go. Cindy, have a great afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys so very much, all of you. Much love. And like I always do at the end of these, just like we were talking about, a kind act for a stranger. And I don't have to tell you guys, but you never know who's going to watch this later. But a kind act for a stranger is what makes the world go round. It's what the world really needs right now. And if you're out there doing it, someone's going to watch you do it, and it'll be a gentle reminder. And then the next time they see somebody that needs help, they'll be more motivated to help them. They won't feel so uncomfortable because they watched you do it, right? It's like that Pantene commercial, 2, then 4, then 8, then 16. It'll spread. And it's grassroots. If we're ever going to get back to the world we remember when we were kids, it all starts with a kind act to a stranger and not some ball-busting troll on the gadget, right? That sends it in the wrong direction. So, thank you again. Much love and respect as always. Please, pretty please, love the ones that love you back. Do your best with the trolls, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much again, each and every one of you. I love you guys. Peace.